Hello and welcome to BYJU'S IAS. Let's get started with our daily quiz and look at question number 1. Statement number 1, the no confidence motion can be moved against an individual minister as well as against the entire Council of Ministers. Number 2, the motion needs the support of 1/5 of the members of a legislative assembly in order to be admitted. Statement number 3, the motion, if passed by simple majority in the Rajya Sabha, leads to the resignation of the Council of Ministers. Which of the above statement is or are correct? Statement number 1 is incorrect. Why? Because the no confidence motion can be moved only against the entire Council of Ministers, not against an individual minister. Statement number 2 is also incorrect. Why? Because it varies from state to state. For example, in Tamil Nadu, the number of members who should support the introduction of a no confidence motion, this number is 24. When it comes to Haryana, for example, where there was a vote of no confidence, the number of members required is 18. If it is Delhi, for example, the number of members who should support the introduction of this no confidence motion is 1/5 of the strength of the Legislative Assembly. In Lok Sabha, for example, 50 MPs should support the introduction of this no confidence motion. So this statement, the motion needs the support of 1/5 of the members of a Legislative Assembly. This number, since it is not fixed, that is why it varies from state to state. That is why the statement is incorrect. And statement number 3 is plainly incorrect. Why? Because the no confidence motion cannot be introduced in Rajya Sabha. Because the Council of Ministers, they're accountable only to Lok Sabha or the lower house of the state legislature, which is the Legislative Assembly. The Council of Ministers, they are not accountable to Rajya Sabha. That is why no confidence motion cannot be issued, cannot be introduced in Rajya Sabha. So all these statements are incorrect. None of the statement is correct. D is the right answer. What is the context? Haryana government defeats no confidence vote. Because to pass a no confidence motion, you need a simple majority, which is more than half of the members present and voting. Now let's look at question number 2. CISF, Central Industrial Security Force, is providing security cover to nuclear installations, airports, seaports, power plants, public sector undertakings, excluding the private sector. CISF is the only force with a customized and dedicated fire wing. CISF is a compensatory cost force. Which of the above statement is correct? First, let's look at the context. This is today's PIB news. On 10th of March 1969, CISF was raised. What is CISF? Central Industrial Security Force. And this security force, which is under MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, it is providing security cover to nuclear installations, airports, seaports, power plants, public sector undertakings, including private sector as well. That is why statement 1 is incorrect. Statement 2 is correct because it is the only force with a customized and dedicated fire wing. Statement 3 is also correct because it is a compensatory cost force. So C, 2 and 3 is the right answer. What do we mean by compensatory cost force? Let's say, for example, CISF is providing security to Infosys. That means Infosys is the protectee of CISF, and Infosys has to pay CISF for the security it is providing, which means it has to be paid by the protectee for its security cover. So CISF is a compensatory cost force. 2 and 3 is the right answer. C is the correct answer. Let's look at question number 3. Which of the following is true regarding Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi, PMSSN? It is a non-lapsable reserve fund for share of health from the proceeds of health and education cess in the public account. We know that there is something called Consolidated Fund of India. There is something called Contingency Fund of India as well. and then there is this public account. Consolidated Fund of India, the custodian of Consolidated Fund of India is the Parliament. That means the government cannot withdraw even a single penny from Consolidated Fund of India without getting the approval from the Parliament, without passing an appropriation law. But the money that is stored in Public Account of India, it is kept at the disposal of the executive. That means the executive can withdraw money from public account without any approval by the Parliament. And this Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi, it is a non-lapsable reserve fund. That means the funds available in this reserve fund do not lapse after the completion of the financial year. And all the proceeds from health and education cess, they get deposited into this PMSSN. So statement number 1 is correct. Statement number 2, administration and maintenance of the PMSSN is entrusted to the Ministry of Finance. No, it is entrusted to the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now the money that is stored in PMSSN, where can we use this money? Accruals into PMSSN will be utilized for the flagship schemes such as Ayushman Bharat, which is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana, National Health Mission, and MG Narega, Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act. But MG Narega is not correct because the accruals into PMSSN will be used for various health schemes that come under National Health Mission. MG Narega is not an option, and that makes statement 3 incorrect. So only 1 is the right answer. The year was 2018. The union budget announced previously there used to be something called education cess of 3%. In the year 2018, this education cess of 3% was replaced by 4% health and education cess. And whatever is accrued by imposing this cess will be deposited into this non-lapsable reserve fund called Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi. What is the context? Cabinet approves creation of Pradhan Mantri Swasthya Suraksha Nidhi as a single non-lapsable reserve fund for health from the proceeds of health and education cess. This is from the PIB News. Let's look at question number 4, statement number 1. Socio-Economic and Caste Census 2011 was conducted by the Ministry of Rural Development and then Ministry of Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation in rural and urban areas respectively. Correct? The government does not enumerate caste-wise population other than SCs and STs. We do not provide caste-wise data. So statement number 2 is also correct. The census exercise is carried out every 10 years on the basis of Indian Citizenship Act of 1955. No. Census is carried out after every 10 years, but not on the basis of the Indian Citizenship Act, but based on the Census Act of 1948. So statement 3 is incorrect. B, 1 and 2 is the right answer. What is the context? This is today's The Hindu newspaper. No proposal to release caste data, says Ministry of Home Affairs. Let's look at a previous year's question paper, Prelims 2013. In which of the following states is line-tailed macaque found in its natural habitat? It is found in Tamil Nadu, it is found in Kerala, it is found in Karnataka, but it is not found in Andhra Pradesh. So 1, 2, 3, A is the right answer. Now let's look at fact of the day. What is section 69 capital A of Information Technology Act of 2000? Let's say for example TikTok and the 59 Chinese apps were banned by the central government after the skirmishes along the line of actual control between India and China. That was done because of and under section 69 capital A of Information Technology Act 2000, because it is this section which empowers the central government. That what central government you can do? You can block an intermediary, and this intermediary can be a website, it can be an app, it can be a news portal, anything. But on what grounds? In the interests of sovereignty and integrity of India, defense of India, security of the state, friendly relations with foreign states, or public order, or for preventing incitement to the commission of any cognizable offense. The year was 2015. In Shreya Singhal case, Shreya Singhal versus Union of India, the validity of Section 69 capital A was also challenged in the Supreme Court. But Supreme Court has upheld the validity of Section 69 capital A. In this judgment, what Supreme Court did? Supreme Court struck down Section 66 capital A of Information Technology Act 2000. Because under Section 66 capital A, if you were using an electronic device, which can be a smartphone, which can be a laptop, which can be a desktop, and if you're transmitting messages which cause annoyance to the public, then you could be booked under Section 66 capital A. Shreya Singhal, a law student, approached the Supreme Court and said, the dear Supreme Court, Section 66 capital A, it violates Article 19(1)A, which is freedom of speech and expression, which is a fundamental right under the Constitution. Supreme Court said, yes, you are right, Section 66A is unconstitutional. But in the same judgment, Supreme Court declared that it is constitutional for the central government to block public access to an intermediary using Section 69 capital A. That is it from our daily quiz for today. If you're liking these initiatives, press the like button and let us know in the comment section. Thank you for being with us. Have a great day.